This will be news-free Dixie for the 21st century. See how it works? Somewhere. Can you dig it?
And so just want you to know. Man, I looked at that smile on your face just now. And the first time I ever wished I was a photographer to take that picture and let the world see that honesty and that integrity. And know some of the things I know, how you drive all over the country to chase us down. Chase us down. Okay? We move so fast. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you're a family. I don't know if you're a wife. Okay? But when we get on here, we bosom friends. Anytime I see you, I stop whatever I'm doing. Hey, my man, how are you? Hey. Hey, man, what, that's, I owe that to you. It's an obligation that you have. How old are you?
Oh, 36.
You don't have the right to do what 36 people do. You don't have the right to go to the dance or go to the party. You don't have a right to take that trip to Europe when I might need that plane fare to fly somebody else to feed my people that love me. Mm-hmm. You feed them. Oh, it's one thing being hungry from food. Right. There's another thing being hungry for information.
That's right.
And that's you the feeder. You got to be the farmer. You got to grow the crop. Huh? You got to till the grain. And at nighttime, when you hear something that sounds like water, you got to go see if the crop's going to be flooded. That's your job, man.
Hey, everybody, this is Brother Ron. I am asking you all to do me a big favor. Think about supporting the We All Be movement. Your donation is tax deductible. The We All Be Group Incorporated is a recognized 501c3. And I'm just asking you all because I want to keep on bringing y'all quality work through the way that I know how to do best. And I'm going to sing my praises and toot my horn. A lot of y'all were not hip to Dick Gregory until Brother Ron brought him on the We All Be platform, until that jingle review we did. Y'all seen another side of Judge Joe Brown, and Judge Joe Brown's message has been amplified. But it was We All Be that brought Judge Joe Brown to y'all back in 2014. And so many others. And we covered so many things. So help us out so we can help you all. Peace. Hey, everybody. It's your favorite guy, Brother Ron. Guess who's back? It's me. It's Brother Ron. And this is We All Be, news-free Dixie for the 21st century. And, yeah, it's been a long time. I got a lot going on, man. The world, I can't believe this is we're in March right now. Time keep on marching on, but know that the best is yet to come. And also, the threats are yet to come. It's like you get to a certain age, like next month I'll be 43 years young. And I was telling somebody the other day, it's like life could be like a horror movie. Like, it's like you just got past Jason, but up ahead is Freddy Krueger. You get past Freddy Krueger, then there's the Predator. Then there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Life could be like a horror show at times, but you should always be aware that and also I'm learning how to be more in the moment, to really, when there's good times, to enjoy them thoroughly. And even when there's so-called bad times, to also find some type of joy in the bad times, the silver linings in the bad times. But there's so much going on in the city of good old Memphis, Tennessee. And it's a lot of things I want to talk about. Memphis, all eyes on Memphis this year. A lot of things are happening, whether it be Tyree Nichols. And then we got this situation with Gershon Freeman, who was done in before Tyree Nichols. You know, Tyree, they got him on January the 7th, right? On camera. On the little sky pole, sky cop or whatever they had. They showed him getting beat down to his death. He died 3 days later, January 10th, in the hospital. And then before that, October 5th of 2022, you had 33-year-old Gershon Freeman, I believe his name is, who was a father, or was a father, and a married man, who died under very, very questionable circumstances when you had allegedly upwards to 20 sheriff deputies beating him down while he was bucky naked. While he was bucky naked, he had 20 sheriff deputies at 201 Poplar. That's our jail facility down there on Poplar. That's why hence 201 Poplar is more infamous in a lot of ways than Rikers Island. You know, 201 Poplar is smaller. It's under half the size of Rikers, but you know, they had a lot of deaths happen not too long ago. Rikers got about 6,000 inmates almost. They had like 19 or 20 reported deaths. That's reported deaths, you know. I think last year, and then 201 has, well, roughly around 3,000, maybe less than 3,000. I'm not sure. But they had 10 reported deaths. That's reported deaths. So you got to read between the line when they talk about the official statements. A lot of times the official story is the official lie. Media is the most powerful influencer on the planet because it does control the minds of the masses. So it's good to have counters, to have voices amplified. Here's the thing. It doesn't really pay to be a truth teller. Not in this system. Y'all applaud like Brother Malcolm. We just acknowledged his feast day when he became a martyr, but we don't want to really be in Malcolm's shoes. You know, if Malcolm came back today, you know, Malcolm would be harassed. To me, Malcolm will identify mostly with conservatives like Candace Owens or Jason Whitlock. He'll be more of a black conservative. And black folks don't care for black conservatives because really black folks, and that's another topic altogether. But it is interesting how we, even with Ida B. Wells, if Ida B. Wells Barnett came back today and attended that fiasco, which is known as the NAACP Image Awards, they would have canceled Ida B. Wells. They trying to make her part of the Rainbow Coalition already, and I'm gonna talk about that. I saw that firsthand when they try to make Ida B. Wells Barnett part of the Rainbow Coalition. They would have canceled her today. All the people y'all say y'all love, they would have got canceled today because we cannot tolerate free-thinking, contrarian people, especially contrarian Negroes. We cannot tolerate. People cannot tolerate me. My so-called, my childhood pastor, for example. You know, he doesn't like Trump supporters, and we honor this guy, right? You know, and I remember like when I was thanking him for an achievement, found out he unfriended me on Facebook. This is about a year or so, a couple years back. And then when I went to honor him, he friended me again on Facebook. And then when I went to acknowledge his birthday this year, he unfriended me again. And I'm like, what is going on, man? And this the guy that supposed to be my spiritual leader when I was growing up. No harm, no half foul. You know, I'm just like right now, I'm in a space. I want to say what I want to say. I don't have no Netflix comedy special coming up. I don't have millions of dollars in the bank like a Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock. These folks have made it their business, try to suspend me, to cancel me, even my friends and so-called family, my frenemies and my frenemies. They're trying to cancel me, you know, and they think they're doing good, but they're not. And where's Brother Ron been? It doesn't pay to do this. Not for me. I'm not getting the big bucks to do that. I'm not getting the tens of thousands of subscribers to do that. This is therapy at this point because I'm gonna talk about another show why I'm not on here that much, but you know it could change. But I'm not gonna let nobody shut me up no more. But let's talk about what we're gonna talk about today. Let's talk about it's Morant. Ja Rule, not murder. It's murder. No, it's Morant. Holla, holla. Let's talk about Ja Morant. The Memphis is interesting right now. And also with the Gershon Freeman thing, right? I said it was sheriff deputies that beat him down, that beat him to death while he was bookie naked. Now you got the sheriff of the county, of our county, Shelby County, Tennessee, Floyd Bonner. I think Floyd Bonner Jr. I met Mr. Floyd on several occasions. He has helped out our organizations when it came to honoring the fallen as it relates to the Four Pillow Massacre. I met him and he's like a good guy, and he's running for mayor of Memphis. But the problem is this Gershon Freeman thing is going to be an albatross around his neck, because also he got to deal with the fact that they had to suspend 2 sheriff deputies that were on the scene of the Tyree Nichols beating. You know, he had to investigate 2 sheriff deputies. And then months earlier, you have this situation with 20 of his sheriff deputies beat down a naked black man in 201 Poplar, where he has jurisdiction over. So what's crazy about this, I can't make this up. Like, he's running for mayor of Memphis, and the day to elect the mayor of Memphis, Tennessee, you know, Judge Joe Brown, Mr. Barbecue Sauce, he run barbecue sauce, and Judge Joe Brown, send Brown downtown, send Brown downtown. He running too. There's a lot of people running right now, about 11 people, I think. Now, Floyd Bonner, Sheriff Bonner, he's running. The election day, I can't make this up, it's October 5th, 2023, which is also the 1-year anniversary of Gershon Freeman being beat down by 20 sheriff deputies at 201 Poplar. Who writing these scripts? That's all I got to say. But let's talk about Ja Morant. This is not, I think it's being blown out of proportion, really, quite frankly. Ja Morant. Okay, let's get started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Yeah. This actually feels very good to just do it live. I saw the Top Gun sequel with the Maverick. I'm going to tell you something. I wasn't expecting nothing out that movie. But that was a sequel, excuse me. Now, that's how you do a sequel to a movie that's a classic that was done almost 40 years ago. Well, Top Gun was done almost 40 years ago, right? Now, Tom Cruise, he did that. I thoroughly enjoyed the Top Gun sequel. It was worth the wait. Unlike Coming to America, I don't know what the hell going on with that, but Tom Cruise did that. Tom Cruise did. Shout out, y'all gotta go see it. It's fun. It's like I enjoyed it. I saw it. But one thing that stuck with me when Tom Cruise Maverick was talking to his best friend Goose. Y'all know about the Top Gun movie. Goose got killed, his wingman in the first, and then his son. And Miles Taylor did a great job of playing the son of Goose. He was known as Rooster in the movie. That's his name, Rooster. He said, you want to be a successful pilot, you gotta not think, but just do. Stop thinking so much and just do. A lot of times with me, when I come to doing what I love doing, like talking like this to you all, I'm thinking too much. I'm overthinking. Like, I'm trying to add something to the conversation, because it's like everybody got a podcast now. Everybody's talking, but everybody ain't talking about nothing. They're just talking. They hear themselves talk. And what I try to do, I try to research, I try to dive deeply and try to bring something that's worthy to talk about and worthy to be considered by you all, my worthy constituents. But a lot of folks just talking just to be talking. And like, it is weird. Like, man, where was all this 13 years ago? I always tell people keep on coming to me with stuff like, you know, I was down for y'all 28 when I was 28. Now I'm about to be 43. I don't want to do all that. Y'all it's just whatever. Y'all is like y'all just discover stuff, and I'm in a different space right now. I'm in a different space, but it was all good. It's the price you pay to be a pioneer. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. There's so much to talk about. But let me put up this, because we almost 15 minutes in. Let me put this thing up. I think it's very important because we all be in it to win it. Oh my God. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows but me. Okay. This is a statement from Ja Morant. As you all may be aware, especially you basketball fans out there, the Memphis Grizzlies have given him a vacation. They won't call it a suspension, but it's like the Memphis Grizzlies said, you know, we're going to give you some time off So you get yourself right, get your mind right. Get your mind right. But this is a statement for Ja Morant. It concerns like he went Instagram live, right? He did an Instagram live at this club, and allegedly he had a handgun. I don't know if that was a real. It's like a toy gun. It ain't like a real gun to me. It looked like a very small gun. Maybe because he had very big hands and the way he was holding it. If there was a real gun, it's like he gotta learn gun safety protocols because that was not the proper way to hold a gun. If it was an actual real gun with live ammunition, but I think somebody said it was like one of those guns, like a fake gun that was a cigarette lighter. But there's neither here or there. The fact that he went live on his own Instagram account to show that after I think Ja just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Powerade, I believe. He got his signature Nike shoe out. This is after Kyrie Irving was kicked out of off the Nike plantation. He got his Ja Morant Nike shoe. He got this multi-million-dollar Powerade deal. Then he got the 200 million plus or 230 million plus contract with the Memphis Grizzlies. He is a superstar. He's one of the most electrifying athletes in all of professional sports, not just basketball. It is a pleasure and a joy to watch Ja Morant, even if you're not a Ja Morant fan or a Grizzly fan. He is a very great player, and he's just 23 years young. And I want people to keep that in mind. He's 23. So this is a statement from Ja Morant after getting suspended or going on vacation, a forced vacation by yours truly, the Memphis Grizzlies. I take full responsibility for my actions last night. I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire Grizzlies organization for letting you down. I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being. Well said. Well said, Ja. I have no problem with that statement. Well said. I would say this. Social media is a monster, is a beast. Can you imagine if they had social media back in the 80s, the NBA of the 80s, the cocaine parties, the wild times, wild women, bad boys, bad girls? You imagine they had social media during the Showtime Lakers era, during the bad boy Detroit Pistons? Could you imagine they had social media during Babe Ruth's time, Jack Johnson time, Mickey Mantle time, Miller time? Imagine they had social media back then. Like everything's being overshared and overexposed. But with Ja, he shot himself in the foot on that one because he went live on his own account. Nobody hacked his Instagram, whatever he was on live on. And he was acting a fool. And he's 23 years old, and he's entitled to play a fool. Your brain ain't truly developed to you about in your mid-20s, 25, 26. So, he got 2 more years to act a fool, right? But hopefully this is an intervention for him because he got a lot to lose. He got more to lose than many, especially in the time that we're living in. It's so easy to say that he's like Allen Iverson, how he's being portrayed. But Allen, it's almost similar. And I will say this because people are like that Memphis turned Ja Morant out. He's not from here. He's from South Carolina. Y'all got to take that. He's from the same town that gave us Jesus Shuttlesworth. Ray Allen and him are from the same hometown. Ray Allen played high school ball in the same hometown that Ja Morant is from. That's South Carolina. That's not Memphis. He's not from North Memphis. He's not from South Memphis. He's not from Manassas or Booker T. Washington High School or Hamilton or Melrose. He's not from here like that. But it's like Iverson's from Hampton, Virginia, right? You're a country boy. And y'all want to say Memphis country. Yeah, we got country grammar, but Memphis is bigger than Atlanta and St. Louis. It's a big city still. Memphis is bigger than St. Louis and Atlanta. We got more people in Memphis than St. Louis and Atlanta. So y'all keep on saying, well, this is country. No, it's a city. Like Houston is a big city. But you go to Fifth Ward, whatever, you see black people riding on horses. Still a city, though. So don't get it twisted. But no, Ja was already Ja before he came to Memphis. That's who he is. And and Allen Iverson, he got, when you think about Philadelphia and sports, you think about A.L.L. Iverson. He won their iconic stars, right? When you think about Memphis and sports, you got to think about John Morant. He's our A.L.L. Iverson. He fits our city like a glove on hands to glove. You know what I'm saying? He fits our way we move. You know, like the juking, the blue collar, the grind, the working mentality. You know, this is a plantation, blue collar town, and he from South Carolina, so he know about that. And it's a grimy, it's a hustle and flow town. You know, we got some flash, we got swagger, the way he wear his hair, the way he talk and walk. He is Memphis, just like A.L. was Philadelphia, but they're not from here. But they epitomize and they project well. And but the thing about AI is that, like somebody made a great point, John Morant was the one holding that little toy gun, whatever it was. He put himself in those situations. A.L.L. Iverson ran with some tough guys, but you know, his thing was he didn't, you know, he would take most of the blame when a lot of times it wasn't his fault. But because of who he was hanging with, all the stuff hit him because of who he was as far as being a superstar and being in the public eye. So it's a couple things that happened that I wasn't aware of that's now coming out. People say it's old news, but like what Harry Truman said, the only thing new is the history that you don't know. The only thing new is the history that you don't know. So like all this stuff coming out from last summer with y'all, like, you know, a 17-year-old kid, he beat up or allegedly hit him in the head several times, left a lump on his head. The 17-year-old kid who was playing pickup basketball at his crib, they got into it. You know, Ja admitted that he threw a punch, but he said that the kid instigated it. You know, like the kid, you know, they were checking the ball and the kid threw the ball in the way they hit him in the face or something like that. And he felt threatened by the kid. And folks saying, well, you know, why Ja hit the 17-year-old kid? First of all, I'm hearing this kid is like a top basketball prospect. How big was the kid? You know, a 17-year-old basketball prospect. How big is the kid? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Memphis is like the Wild Wild West. And Josh said everything is fine in the West. Everything ain't fine in Memphis. Okay, everything ain't fine in the West. We're in the Western Conference. The Grizzlies are in the Western Conference. But you got kids here that are carjacking people. We got 11-year-olds that's going around carjacking and robbing people at gunpoint. That's Memphis. It's not just Memphis. That's America. America is a big hood. This is like a third world country parading, masquerading as a first world power. Power grid is through. Bridges falling down. Not just the London Bridge falling down. It's bridges falling down all across America. Power grid outdated. This is a third world country masquerading as a first world power. Okay? So it's not just Memphis. People I want to bet about it. Memphis, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but I'm not afraid to go outside. It's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on. That's everywhere. You know, you take your life in your hand every time you walk out the door. You don't know if you're coming back home or how you coming back at all or whatever. But how big was the 17-year-old? I'm going to tell you something. These kids are very disrespectful. A lot of these kids will disrespect you. They don't care how old you are and who you are and what you do. Very disrespectful, but they had to learn that or not learn that from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So he admitted that he got into it with the kid, but he feared for his life, I guess. And the kid said that he came back out the house with a gun in his waist. You know what I'm saying? And with him touching on the gun, implying. And you know, this is Memphis, man. I had a Jegna, Emerson A.L.L. Jr., the guy who was Isaac Hayes' band director at Manassas High School. He kicked Isaac Hayes out the band. Ended up working for Isaac Hayes at Stax. You know, helped Isaac Hayes write a lot of his amazing hits and, you know, arrange them and stuff like that. Did watch Stax and all that. He was a good friend of mine. Long time celebrated educator, one of the co-founders of the Southern Heritage Classic that was invented in his home with Fred Jones. Fred Jones and them never talk about Emerson A.L.L. Jr.'s contribution to that. And I talked about it several times on the show. I mean, he was telling me this story, though. It was Halloween. And he said, you know, kids going trick-or-treating, right? And he said it was these two grown dudes approach him. Now this is the elder, right? There's two grown guys approaching, talking about trick or treat. He said, "Hold up, I got some treats for y'all asses." He went back in his house, got his gun. He said, "Them guys, like there was an Olympics, they leapfrog over his bushes and stuff. They jumped off that porch over his bushes, ran down the street. So evidently they wasn't up to no good. Mr. Abel had that get back, and so like I understand now why older people do have guns, because nobody has time to get their hip broken, and that's a death sentence. When you get older, you get your hip broken, that's a death sentence. So nobody have time to rumble, young man, rumble. It's called rumble, young man, rumble, not rumble or gravel, old man, gravel. No, you get the get back, So whatever. I think there's a lawsuit pending with the 17-year-old kid. And I don't know what, but I mean, Ja got the money. Well, it comes to the territory. Now, that same summer, like 4 days apart, right, from each other, he had the mall incident at Wolf Chase Galleria. That's out in East Memphis, out in Cordova. That's still Memphis. And you got Wolf Chase Galleria. They have a couple of things going on several times a year, Wolf Chase. Shootouts and stuff like that. It's a nice mall, but I don't know. It's by design. But anyway, allegedly, Morant's mom got into it with an employee at the Finish Line shoe store. And she called for backup, allegedly. She called her son. His son arrived with like maybe 9 or 10 goons. He had his goon squad with him. So they confronted the employee. Then they confronted the head of mall security. The head of mall security felt threatened, called in the police. Police were playing mediator, right? Allegedly, somebody put their hands on the mall security chief, whatever. And it got really tense and it got de-escalated. I don't believe no charges was filed, but it was a report. I guess they filed a report and it was to my suspect. They didn't name Ja Morant. They acknowledged Ja Morant on the scene, but they ain't say he did anything, put his hands on anybody. They just, talking about suspect this, suspect that. Okay. All right. Then you had the incident, I believe, January 29th of this year, where some people out of Ja's entourage allegedly pointed a laser beam at the Indiana Pacers staff. You know how you have those laser beam things that be on guns? Somebody from Ja Morant's entourage allegedly pointed a laser beam at the Indiana Pacers staff. So, I mean, you got all these things going on, but it's still Ja. I mean, shoe deal, Powerade deal, this big money contract from the NBA. He's one of the faces of the NBA. What is going on? Because, even the incident at a crypto arena, right, with Shannon Sharp, Ja and his father and some of the Grizzlies, they're about to, they're about to throw some things. I don't know. And Shannon came out a couple days later, tried to de-escalate everything. Because really, Shannon should have been kicked out of the arena. He should have been kicked out, but they didn't kick him out. So that's privilege and celebrity for you. But people say, well, Ja, why are you acting like that? And his father be at the game supporting his son. His father who like Usher Raymond, right? Him and Usher sat next to each other doing a playoff game, went viral. They look like, so why is it then Ja mama calling Ja? He came in with his goons to try to, regulate at the mall this last summer. So what's going on? I mean, he got both his parents. Are they to blame? Is all Ja's fault? No, I mean, it's like what Mike Tyson said, right? I'm a paraphrase. I think it was the best damn sports show. It was like years ago when Mike Tyson was on there. And I think he said something to the effect, if you want to see a tragedy, give a kid at 20 years old who never had nothing $1 million. If you want to see a tragedy, give a kid who never had nothing at 20 years old $1 million. Mike Tyson became a world heavyweight champion at 20, right? Like 20 or 19 or something like that. Because I think Ali was the youngest at one point. He surpassed Ali at 20. So this guy who came out the streets never had anything like that. In his hard knock life for Mike is a hard knock life for Mike. Okay, so he gave $1 million. You see what had played out. And Mike Tyson, thank God he's still here. But I think, as a matter of fact, I think Ja Morant should talk to people like Mike Tyson and A.L.L. Iverson. Or even Jalen Rose. I didn't know Jalen Rose was going through his little thug life moment. He talked about it candidly when they were talking about Ja Morant, I think yesterday. So, I mean, you should talk to people like this that been there, done that. Because I don't think a lot of people, nobody in his entourage or his family can understand or understand what he's really going through. I mean, this guy just 23. He'll be 24, I believe, August 10th of this year. Young guy. A lot of pressures. He's a breadwinner. He's the patriarch now. Breadwinner. He's the head of the family. He's making all the money. So I would hope to think that they will try to protect the goose that laid the golden egg. But it's weird though. This thing is this fame monster, this beast, this social media beast. Now, this is a weird time to be living. I think about Mike Vick, another Virginia boy. Like talk about A.L.L, he's from Virginia. Mike Vick, another gifted athlete. And that dog ring, that dog fighting stuff. To me, one of his homies should have went to jail for him. They should have went to prison for him. You got to protect the bag at all costs, man. Why would Mike Vick go to prison for 3 years? Why one of the homies, one of his cousins? They could have did that time. Mike Vick was the highest paid football player in the whole league. He was arguably the face of football. This before the rise of Tom Brady. I mean, even during the rise, Tom Brady, like he wasn't Tom Brady what we think of him now. But like Mike Vick was, he had that big contract down in Atlanta. And really with Mike Vick, he had a cannon of an arm. He never had a proper big time receiver. Imagine if Mike Vick had a T.O. or Randy Moss in their prime to throw to. Mike Vick never had the weapons he needed or toys he needed to be like a Patrick Mahomes or anybody like that, or even Lamar Jackson, right? But Mike Vick, but he went to prison. We did almost 3 years in prison. People still hate Mike Vick to this day. But one of his boys could have went to prison and took the charge. Like what Project Pack talking about, take the charge. And I mean, Mike Vick paid his debt to society. He made some money. I guess he got a nice little nest egg, but take the charge. Like even with the Young Thug, one of his guys could have took whatever they got. They throwing Rico, whatever. They could have took the charge for Young Thug, but Young Thug was warned. Hey man, you gotta, because every generation think they smarter than the last generation when it comes to this. But it's the same game. Same game, new players. And Ja Morant need to take heed, before he loses everything, before he blow it all. It is interesting. You listen to these people. I listen to a podcast about Lil Peep. Lil Peep, the rapper, the emo rapper, whatever, that died on the suspect circumstances of OD back in November 2017. Lil Peep was very popular. People say he was like the next David Bowie or Kurt Cobain, and of hip hop. He's gonna do that what they did in that genre. He's gonna do it for hip hop. And man died of some suspect drug overdose at just the age of 21. And his crew, the Gothic crew, whatever they call themselves, Gothic boys, whatever they call themselves, they taking pictures and stuff of him on the bus dead. They don't even know he dead. They all drugged out and everything. Everybody's drugged out. Nobody's there. Hey, pump your brakes, man. This is Lil Peep, slow down. Lil Peep dead at 21. You killed the bag, man. Y'all don't need to kill that bag. Ja Morant got a way bigger bag than Lil Peep had. Y'all gonna kill it. Like people always killing. It's like with Tupac. There's no reason why Pac should have been where he been in Las Vegas that night. He should not ever been in that position. But look at his bodyguard. They both dead now, Frank Alexander and the other brother. I mean, it's weird because he walked Italy. He did, Johnny Versace loved Tupac. He used to give him all this free Versace. And he did the wrong way for them in Italy, I believe, right before he died. And they love Pac over in Italy. Pac is, a good-looking guy, model looks and charisma, talent. And I remember seeing photos of him walking the runway with his bodyguards. There was all Versace up. I think Kadada Jones over there as well. But I'm saying, you the bodyguard. Why y'all gazing at the camera? Y'all supposed to be like surveilling the premises. Y'all supposed to be like really not. You're supposed to be felt, not always seen. Y'all up there stargazing. What type of bodyguards are these? No disrespect to the dead. What type of bodyguards are these? I think Mike Moore, that's the other cat name. Mike Moore, not the film director, but the bodyguard for Tupac. Michael Moore and Frank Alexander. I read this book. It was a good book, but y'all got Pac killed, man, because like nobody was doing their job. Y'all up here looking around. Pac should never put his hands on Orlando Anderson that night. He should never been around. He should not be taking on street beefs. That's out your lane. You hustling backwards, as they say. Just like with Chris Brown, with the Crips, not the Bloods. And then you from Virginia. He's a country boy from Virginia. What do you know about some Bloods? You a country boy from Virginia. Don't blame L.A. They ain't on L.A. It will Pac. What y'all doing with the gangs, man? Be the talent. It's a double sword, because even with Frank Sinatra, right? Old Blue Eyes. It's a double standard. I can remember Deshaun Jackson got in some trouble years ago. The talented wide receiver from Cali. They played for the Eagles. They were trying to say he was gang affiliated. I remember that was several years ago. And it's weird. Everybody's gang affiliated. I talk about Old Blue Eyes. Frank Sinatra took a picture with Carlo Gambino and Paul Castellano back in the day. The man was a bag man for Luciano, Lucky. He hero worshiped Bugsy Siegel, whose birthday was just February 28th. Frank Sinatra was a fanboy. Some of y'all fanboy for Patrick Mahomes or LeBron James. Frank Sinatra, from my understanding, was a fanboy of Bugsy Siegel. And I love Bugsy, man. Bugsy, he was what a gangster is supposed to look like and how he's supposed to act. That's me. Bugsy Siegel, my favorite gangster. But America is a bunch of gangsterism. But I'm saying, could you imagine if they had social media during Broadway Joe's time, Joe Namath, all that wild stuff they was into back in the day with his fur coats, the mink coke on the line, on the sidelines, and all this stuff. Broadway Joe, you imagine the things they were getting into in New York back in the day. This before the cleanup. New York was grimy for decades before Giuliani. Okay. Can you imagine all the shenanigans they will be getting into right now? Or back then, if they had social media. Can you imagine social media with Wilt Chamberlain? You got all these Instagram thoughts and all. Can you imagine the stuff that Wilt Chamberlain would be going home with the Instagram models and stuff? You know what I'm saying? All the twerking on Goliath. Goliath taking them to the hole. More ways than one. But anyway, I just think with the Ja Morant thing, he's a young guy. This is a good wake-up call for him early in his career before he loses his mind and lose it all. I think this is a good wake-up call for Brother Ja. And that he's no worse than anybody that came before or during this time or after him. Because we know more things because of the way everything's exposed on social media and the internet and stuff. More things are known now than ever before. And I would say this, we should not hero worship celebrities at all. We should not idolize any person, because they are people. They got flaws and shortcomings, and it's okay to be human. You could be exceptional in your gifts and talents. That's great. But it's also okay and great to be human. And I think Ja going to be fine. The Grizzlies going to be fine because they proved it last year. They are a deep enough team. When Ja was missing in action last year, they came through and almost won it all. And I believe they would have won it all if Ja didn't get hurt and some other things didn't happen with they could have beaten the Golden State Warriors. That's why Klay Thompson, he had the Grizzlies on his mind even when they won the championship, because they know they almost lost it all. Because the Grizzlies ain't no joke. They still number 2 in the West. It's gonna be in basketball is fine. But with Ja, I'm not gonna beat him down. I wish him much success, continued success. And may amplify blessings and all that, because he does rep our city well in terms of people in Memphis love Ja. We love him down here. So whatever. But you don't see Patrick Mahomes acting like this. I'm just saying. And Patrick is 27. He's a family man. But you don't see you just gotta know how to play it, man. And it's like with Little Peep. I mentioned Little Peep, right? Little Peep had this complex about being successful. Like he was very successful. He wanted he wanted his people say we all equal, man. We not really all equal. You are the company that you keep. You are the company that you keep. You eventually become them because they're your mirrors. So you gotta be careful how you move and who you deal with and all that stuff. I don't really move with a lot of people. I'm fine with being a loner and a lone wolf who knows how to build a beloved community. I'm good with that. I'm good being by myself. I'm good. But I don't know, man. Sports is like whatever. It's bread and circuses. But I had to get on here because I'm gonna do some more shows as well. Got a couple of shows. I'm gonna be like prolific, like Pac. I'm gonna put out these little podcasts, stuff like that. But like I said, it's a lot going on, and time is moving. Time is the enemy, man. So let me see. Check out the chat room, the We All Be Tribe room. We All Be Tribe. Let me see. Yeah, Sister Gail from NC, North Kakalaka. What's crackalacking? It's good to be on here. Like I said, I gotta just stop thinking so much and do. So I'm on here, and I got some more things to share. Hey, all right. Salute the Law Dog in the house. I'm gonna keep on trucking, Sister Yvette. Always good to see your lovely face in the place to be. I'm gonna keep on trucking. Yeah, I'm curious. How is this high class blasphemy when AI was treated like a pariah in the NBA? That whole dress code thing was about Allen Iverson. It was like a silent war between Allen Iverson and what's his name? David Stern. That was the commissioner of the NBA before Adam Silver, the so-called players commissioner. You see how that's going. Ja Morant is a first of all, they almost similar in a way. They both undersized to play the way they played. They're both undersized, but they play big. They play a big game, electrifying, a lot of high acrobatic stuff they do. They don't mind crashing the lane. Charisma. They got their own shoe. They got swagger. So I mean, whatever. To each their own. Yeah, they are like. Yeah, peace, brothers. Thank you for tuning in, brother Pickett. On the way in the midnight hour. Think about Wilson Pickett. Just looking through this. Bobby Bomac was good. I'm thinking what's good. Some catfish right now. Some catfish would be good right now. Thank you, brother. And he do got good. No, Tyson. See, that's the thing about like people want to throw people away. You know, I remember when Mike Tyson bit Holyfield's ear off. I remember where I was at, and when I heard the news that Mike Tyson bit off Evander Holyfield's ear, and folks thought that Michael Tyson was done. You know, because this is right after, you know, this is like, you know, after he came out of prison on those suspect rape charges with old girl. You know, he didn't do that, and he never heard about her after that time. What happened to her? Kind of like the girl that accused Pac of rape and sent him to Dannemora, upstate New York. All right. They had him do that deal with Suge and Death Row that sacrificed his life for, right? So I don't know, but Mike Tyson, people thought he was through several times. I remember when Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis in 2002 in Memphis. And like Memphis became like Hollywood and Las Vegas all in one for that whole week. It was amazing going downtown, see all celebrities. Saw Dave Chappelle, the Peabody, Run DMC, or Reverend Run and Russell Simmons. They were in the horse and buggy riding around Memphis downtown. Evander Holyfield, Alonzo Mourning, Hitman Hearns, Charles Oaktree. Like he was an Oak Tree. Charles Oakley, Jermaine O'Neal. There's so many people. Like, and you hear all these, you know, the women of the night. They was all there out there showing it all, showing all their goods. But they thought Tyson like, Tyson was talking some crazy stuff leading up to the fight. Then, like he said, man, I know your mom, Lennox. I know your mom. I'm not a crazy guy, man. This is ludicrous. This is sell tickets. Mike Tyson was a showman like Ali. I mean, he was trying to sell tickets. He'll say crazy off the wall stuff. Now we know that Mike Tyson has an intellect and that he came out of the Holyfield thing. Now they're friends. They could joke about it, right? So, I mean, the game's the game. So don't tell me that John Morant, like he's through, and you think about how America's all about the second act. It's all about the second act. Yeah, his mama, she know her boy. I'm thinking his folks in their 40s because John Morant could be my son. He was born in 99. So I could be, I'm old enough to be his father. And that's crazy to think about. I don't have any biological children right now. But it's like with some people think that Marvin Gaye's mom got him killed. But Marvin Gaye had a death wish. But you know how women be. I know how I be. But that's good. He stood up for his mom, but it's ways to handle that. And I think he, bringing all his bros, whatever he had, his goon squad, wasn't the right way to handle that situation at finish line. And at Wolf Chase Galleria. He needs to discipline himself better. That's part of it. He needs to elevate who he hangs around. It's like what Dick Gregory used to say. You can't be like a Bentley or a Rolls Royce in the hood. Like you a Rolls Royce riding around the hood and people resent you for being who you are. And you want to be a good person. You want to be like every man, every person, people person. But you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your peace of mind. And whatever pieces you got of that pie, he need to elevate the way he move, elevate his thinking, and really learn how to value himself more, know the value he has. That's for everybody, but you can't be a Rolls Royce or a Bentley riding around in the hood and think nothing gonna happen to you. You need to change your environment. But the thing about, I'm in Memphis. I know everywhere's going through gentrification. Places that used to be the projects are now condominiums worth thousands of dollars. Used to be Section 8 housing, now condominiums. Now high-rise building, business complexes, whatever. So is it really your physical space or is your mental and spiritual that need to be elevated? Because really the physical is a manifestation of what your mental and spiritual is. Because a lot of folks, that's sad, it's so-and-so doing time. Everybody's doing time. We make prisons. We limit our abilities. We don't believe in ourselves. When we limit the possibilities of what we can be, we allow others to dictate our terms of existence. You are putting yourself willingly into a prison. It's like people hate the vampire for being a vampire. But the thing about the vampire is true to its nature. And they always say the only way a vampire can come into your house is if you invite the vampire in. If you invite the vampire in, the only way Ja can be destroyed if he's willing to invite all these distractions, these people, the stuff in. That's on Ja. But it's all on all of us to elevate the way we think and view ourselves, and to really feed our spirituality. Yeah, but Nipsey put himself in that situation. He had a past, and he decided to stay in that situation. I don't know all the things that Nipsey was into, because that stuff still strange. Like they got the dude in prison for a long time, the guy Eric Holder who killed him. And the thing about it is like that song that Racks in the Middle. My favorite Nipsey song is Racks in the Middle with Roddy Ricch, I think. He talking about how he died, how can he die at 30 something after banging all these years, right? Nipsey died at 33 after banging all these years. So his past or whatever caught up with him. And not to say that he was not doing good stuff. We not hear a mixed bag about it. But what I'm saying is the way Nipsey moved, he should have changed the way he was moving. He should have had security and stuff. Because like even when his Marathon store was getting raided by the police, they were getting police intimidation, and yet they said that he was gonna meet with the top brass at LAPD the next day. On that Monday or something, Rock Nation. I don't know. This is so grimy. Everything is weird. I don't know what to believe anymore, what to trust. I just know with these Illuminati entertainment industry complex demons, I don't know what to trust or what to believe is legit. But Nipsey was sacrificed. It is what it is. But you know, like you look at okay, Nipsey, but then Snoop can crip walk during the Helltown show at the Super Bowl. Snoop can hang out. His best friend is Martha Stewart. She got a tattoo of Snoop, I think on her right shoulder, on the back of her right shoulder, I believe. But she got a tattoo of Snoop. That's one of his besties, Martha Stewart. He could crip walk, but you know, back in the day, Snoop had that Murder Was the Case, right? He made that song Murder Was the Case. He caught a case. He caught a murder case. Allegedly, he killed that gangbanger guy. His bodyguard allegedly killed the gangbanger guy. I don't know, but they both got out. Y'all remember when Snoop, you know, and Tupac said, "I didn't have a record, so I made a record." Tupac spoke stuff into existence, like when he did the movie Trap. I mean, not the movie Trap, but the song Trap out with Tupac Was Now. And to me, Tupac Was Now is a good album. You know, people are weird. I just like when people say Jay-Z ain't great. Jay-Z's great. I'm sorry. I know y'all feelings about Jay-Z. Jay-Z's phenomenal. I'm sorry. He is. But and the fact, he didn't make he didn't, I mean, everybody got their lane. Everybody ain't supposed to be a prodigy. Nas, everybody can't do what Nas did at a young age with Illmatic, okay? It takes a minute. You know, Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt came out at 26, right? But Jay was paying his dues through Big Daddy Kane and other people. And Jay had, you know, he found his voice. But with Tupac did Trap, the song Trap, right? And he said he based that on what he heard from his homeboys' involvement with police. He never had them type of problems until he made his album, until he made his records. Your words create worlds. You know, they beat him down for jaywalking in Oakland, right? They beat him down. He was suing the Oakland PD for about $10 million. He only got $42,000. And most of that went to his lawyer, from my understanding. I actually interviewed Tupac's lawyer years ago. I think Roland Burris, his name. He also was the family lawyer for Oscar Grant. The brother was killed by the BART cops back in the New Year's of 2009. So I interviewed him around that time. I should upload it to YouTube. I mean, but he was Tupac's lawyer for the jaywalking incident in Oakland. So you speak stuff into existence. Same thing with Biggie. I mean, Life After Death came out after he was dead, right? He said he Ready to Die. First album, Ready to Die. Second album, Life After Death, came out after he was dead. He said he was ready to die. Thank God. It's happy to be seen. I appreciate it. But I mean, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to talk about. But I'm glad that Ja got this light on him right now, Ja Morant, that he's been like talk about right now, because it's gonna slow him down. That's a good thing. Because we want to see him have a full, long career, and he brings a lot of joy to people. I remember like it was last year or so that I believe the Grizzlies played Golden State Warriors. And the little white boys, they were big Golden State Warriors fans at the game. And I think they were from Nashville, these white boys, little white kids, right? They had they Steph Curry jerseys, whatever they had. I think Josh said something to them, and I don't know. I guess it was genuine. I don't know. With Josh, like he said, "I'm sorry." He befriended the little white boys, and they said we Ja Morant fans now. They start wearing Ja jersey, and the white mama said, "Oh, he's just a great guy," and all this stuff. You got to play that role because they give you that money. It got strings attached to that money. So Ja, they say, "No, Ja, you got to make that right with the white boys. You can't go off on the white kids." Now if that was Barry Bonds don't give a damn. Barry Bonds didn't care. He didn't care if you was white, whatever. He didn't care. And that's why they did Barry the way they did him, because oh man, he don't want to be kid friendly. He didn't want to give us no interviews. Yeah, he won 7 MVPs, but we're gonna cut his career short. We're gonna put an asterisk by his achievements, and that be done. Whereas Tom Brady and Barry Bonds are alums of the same high school out in Cali. They're alumni of the same high school. Tom Brady had Deflategate and all this other crap going on, and yet they allowed him to play till about 45 years old with no problem, and now he's the GOAT. And to me, I will let you know he is not, my opinion, the greatest football player is Jim Brown, but Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback based on stats and the wins. But I believe overall, Jim Brown was the greatest football player ever. That's just my opinion. I never seen Jim Brown play. That's like I look at Wilt Chamberlain. If Wilt Chamberlain was playing today, I mean, he will own this league. That's how I feel about it. But anyway. Yeah, but AI wasn't as bad as people made him out to be. You remember when Carmelo Anthony got in trouble, right? Carmelo's from Baltimore, The Wire, somebody said Bodymore Murderland. But he did that DVD years ago with Stop Stitching DVD, and he appeared on the DVD. They interviewed him, I believe, and people were mad at Carmelo for doing that. And my thing is, I mean, these are young guys. There's no reason why you should let LeBron James or Carmelo Anthony raise your kids. You should be raising your kids. It's not on Dr. Dre and Eminem and Little Peep and XXXTentacion to raise your kids. You need to be the greatest role model for your kids. And I look at role model. Everybody is a role model. You don't have to be like the so-called most decent, most morally compass person with the most integrity to be a role model. You could be a wino. You could be a crackhead. You could be a meth head and be a role model. Because role model you just modeling different. When you choose these choices in life, this is what happens. So what I loved about Jim Crow, people talking about Jim Crow this, you got Jim Crow Joe, he was speaking in Selma, Bloody Sunday. Jim Crow was not all bad for black people. I know it's hard for y'all to accept that. Jim Crow was not a bad thing, because a lot of you Negroes keep on talking about, our biggest problem is we're not unified. And Jim Crow, you had to be unified. They forced us to deal with us. When they restricted our movement to certain parts and avenues in society, it forced us to deal with us, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you was growing up back then, you not only had the pimps and the winos and the hookers, you also had the doctors and the lawyers, the entrepreneurs, business people, legit business people. You had all type of people, the teachers, the educators. Everybody was living in the neighborhood. And the neighborhood was an actual community. We don't have communities. We have neighborhoods. We have projects. We have Section 8. Everything is a social experiment. But we had a beloved community of all types of interesting characters that really added value to your experience as a human being. But this thing about the talented temp wasn't a bad idea. It's the way the system exploited that. When you take our best and brightest out of supportive and loving environments and put them in alien, hostile environments, why are you going to take the best students and put them in an all-white, alien, hostile environment? You took them from a place where you had teachers that cared about the students because they looked like the students looked like their kids, to a place where the teachers didn't care about the students, let alone their backstory. Isaac Hayes was poor when he went to high school. He was poor kid. And I believe some of the teachers at Manassas took an interest in him. They made sure he had clothes. Now, he had a beloved community. You think Isaac Hayes could be produced out of Central High School in Little Rock? Bang, bang, bang. You got to think about some of the best educational institutions in the country were black institutions. Some of the best high school scholars and athletes came out of black school because of Jim Crow. So that's something we don't want to talk about. Then you look at DeSantis. Now you look at Deep Last. First, I thought he was against Black history. He's not against Black history. He's against the rainbow agenda, and they're using Black people's story as the Trojan horse. I don't, this weirdness about you connect Black folks to gayness. It's just weird. It doesn't. I don't get it. Why everything got to be put on the Black people? Like Black folk, we get the least out of everything, and these. Our struggle, our pain, our story been used as a blueprint for everybody else's elevation, except for Black people. So I'm gonna get off of that. I think I did enough on this show. But John Morant, keep on doing your thing, bro. We love you madly. Heed those yield signs. Pay attention to the stop signs coming up ahead. God loves you. Just keep on doing you, man. You young. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay. It's part of the human experience. Big up for you owning up to, being accountable for your actions. And that's what I got to say about that. And like what Baba Dick Gregory would say, just pray at noon for the truth to come out about a lot of this stuff. So if you like the words from Brother Hurd, please spread the word. We All Be TV on YouTube, man. That's We All Be TV on YouTube, man. And also, you can support the movement. You can cash out your support. $R2C2H2. That's $R2C2H2. PayPal, Google Pay, and Zelle support at R2C2H2 @gmail.com. That's R2C2H2 @gmail.com. Vimo at R2C2H2. That's Vimo at R2C2H2. Apple Cash. 901-299-4355. That's 901-299-4355. Also, what else can you do? Patreon.com/WeAllBe. That's Patreon.com/WeAllBe. To buy Art of His Art, R2C2H2.com. Let's go there. Wear Art of His Art. Got my Homer G. Phillips shirt on. You can find me in St. Louis, Homer G. Phillips, the lawyer who fought and won $1 million for the city to build a proper hospital for Black people, City Hospital number 2. They actually assassinated Homer G. Phillips back in the 30s. But they named the hospital after him. And that hospital at one point trained more Black nurses and doctors than any place in the whole world, not just in the country of America. That hospital in St. Louis, City Hospital number 2, Homer G. Phillips Hospital, trained more Black nurses and doctors than any place in the world. One doctor that was trained at Homer G. Phillips Hospital was Dr. T.R.M. Howard. Dr. T.R.M. Howard was arguably the wealthiest man in Mississippi. He had a practice out of Mound Bayou, Mississippi. He was the Jegna for Medgar Evers and his brother Charles for Fannie Lou Hamer. He was the guy who placed that Mamie Till Bradley stayed in. That's Emmett Till's mom. She stayed with Dr. Howard during the trial. He had his armed security guards and everything. Dr. Howard was that man. And they ran him out of Mississippi eventually, ended up selling in Chicago, ended up providing the seed money for Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Coalition, Push Rainbow Coalition. He also raised money for Malcolm X's widow and family back in the day as well. That's Dr. T.M. Howard was trained at Homer G. Phillips Hospital, and also the lead surgeon at the hospital. The director, I believe, was the guy, Dr. Hampton. His son, Henry Hampton, went to the same college I went to, Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. He was the guy who created the Eyes on the Prize documentary series that told the story of the civil rights movement. He actually, I believe, what inspired him brother Henry Hampton was meeting Dr. King when he went down there to with his church group for Selma. When he went to Selma, he met Dr. King, and it inspired him to want to tell the story of the movement. So it took him some years to tell this document. He interviewed all the people like Huey Newton, Coretta, just name all the civil rights legends. He interviewed them back in the 80s and 70s, whatever. Came up with Eisner Prize documentary, award-winning documentary that premiered on PBS. At the time of his death back in 1998, had the largest black-owned film production company in the world. They were stationed in Boston. They were headquartered in Boston. And now my alma mater, his alma mater, they held the Henry Hampton Archives at Washington University. And I love that archive. I went down there and spent some days down there looking at stuff. And it was my judgment, the late great Dean James McLeod, that brought the archives to Washington. So if y'all ever in St. Louis, try to find the Henry Hampton Archive. Matter of fact, I believe they got a lot of that stuff online. It's been digitized for the most part. You can find a lot of the clips and footage that was used for the documentary, online transcripts from the interviews could be found online. But anyway, that just does it. And let me, let's see, read a disclaimer. It feels good to be back on the air. It feels good. So let's be okay. I'll be back on the air sooner than y'all think. On the road again. Disclaimer: the views expressed by host and guests on the We All Be TV platform are not the official views, opinions, beliefs, or perspectives of We All Be News or the We All Be Group Incorporated. We All Be News is an organization that thoroughly believes in supplementing the information narrative that is usually supplied by the corporate news entities with those viewpoints and expressions which may be marginalized or ignored for a plethora of reasons. We are about informing the general public on alternative perspectives as it relates to news and information, and letting the general public be the ultimate judge in deciding on how to use said information. Informed citizens are responsible citizens. Thank you for your support. And thank you all once again. In the words of Great Duke Ellington, we love you madly. In the words of Brother Ron, keep on producing and pushing. And yes, indeed, the best is yet to come. One love. See how it works?